for our friends at Rosa Scott, Ridgeland, and Germantown High Schools. We've been talking about the Public Safety Career Cluster, been looking at some videos of firefighter training, all the cool stuff y'all do. So I know you're at the Clinton Fire Department. So
Yep.
take us a little bit about what all you do and y'all's training and what y'all do on an everyday basis, and show us around as much as you can.
Okay, well, hold on 1 minute. So from a day-to-day basis, when we change over at 5:00 p.m. So every day at 5 we come in, and when we come in, we have to check our truck. We have to make sure everything is there and accounted for. All our equipment is working right. Then we might, depending on the day that we come in, like on a Tuesday, sometimes we have to cut grass. We have to take out the trash, and do certain stuff like that. And then the following day, if it's a Friday, we got to get up Fridays and we got to check all the equipment, all the like the jaws of life, the cutters. We got to check the oil and all that stuff on the truck. We got to flow water through the pump and all that stuff. On Mondays, we have to make sure all our every piece of equipment is on our truck. We got to check all our medical bags and make sure all our equipment is there. And depending on what month it is or stuff like that, we do stuff like Christmas parades. We go to schools and talk to the schools, and we do a lot of church events and stuff like that. So that's just the basic day-to-day stuff. The training required is you have to, you get on, when you get hired, the first thing you got to do is you got to go to EMT school. And that's like a semester worth of college, basically. And you become an EMT. And once you become an EMT, you take the national registry. You pass that, and then you're a nationally registered EMT. After you do that, then you go to the Mississippi State Fire Academy, and that's 7 weeks. That's a 7 weeks course. You go down there, you learn all about firefighting, extrication, and stuff like that. And once you get all of those certifications and classes and stuff, then you become a certified firefighter. And then after that, once you do those two, those are the main two to get you in the door. But after you do all that, then you got to take classes like rope rescue, swift water rescue. Then you got to take fire officer, safety officer, instructor. It's a lot of class in your first few years of getting in the fire service. So that's most of the stuff we got to do starting off.
Yeah, it's not just let's kick down doors and break stuff and pull people out of burning buildings all the time. You guys, and you do have the fire emergencies. You have a lot of it is car wrecks, a lot of it is medical.
Yeah.
So what is the range of calls you guys get?
Well, in Clinton, we don't fight a lot of fire. Like we may have 5 to 10 fires a year, maybe less than that. So in Clinton, mostly we run a bunch of medical calls. We run gas emergencies, we run car wrecks, we run lifting assistance. We do service calls. We do all that type of stuff. And this department is mostly a medical department because that's all we do is mostly medical calls. So any type of emergency that happen here, gunshots, stabbings, accidental cuttings, or stuff like that, we gonna go to it. Most of the time we're first on the scene to it. That's why we got to be registered EMTs, and we also have certified paramedics on our department.
Oh wow!
So, and we just basically maintain the patient and keep them alive until the AMR gets there to transport them to the hospital. So.
Yeah, and now obviously, and the one stereotype is that most firefighters are males. But what type of opportunities for females are there in the firefighter world?
Well, females, it's becoming more of a thing for the fire department. If you're a female and you want to become a firefighter, go for it. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. Because in Clinton, we have right now on the department, we have one female. And a lot of the time, I think they get discouraged because they think that, it's a male-dominated department. But if you can do the things that we do it. If you can't, start preparing yourself so you can, and sign up and go for it.
Yeah, and just talking about what it takes to get into it. I know you went to Jim Hill High School.
Mhm.
Obviously, you played football for me. Your sister was in my class, so you grew up in a different environment than some of them. All of our kids here in Madison County. You played football, you played soccer, you ran track, you did a lot of things in high school that were fun. But why was this your path instead of going the traditional college route? Because you and your sister both were smart enough to go to college, but y'all chose different paths. So what was the reasoning for that?
Okay, well, first of all, I actually tried college. I went to college. I went to Jackson State for like 2 semesters maybe, and then I was just like, this ain't what I want to do. And then I was working at Pizza Hut, and then somebody came to me was like, you want to be a fireman? I was like, I was kind of like, I don't know, but it was like Pizza Hut firefighting. I was like, huh. So I just tried it. So it wasn't when you was little, everybody, I want to be a fireman, police officer. But me, it was just somebody came and told me about the opportunity, and I jumped on it. And I put in my application. And when you put in the application, you got to do an agility test. Once you do an agility test, you have to do a written test. And after the written test, you got to do an interview. Once you interview, they tell you if you got the job, and then you got to do some more testing to get on drug tests, psychological tests, and stuff like that. Then once you get hired, you just, start the process. But it wasn't something that I always thought about. I wish I would have did it straight out of high school if I could have, but I just got in it when I can. And I love it since I've been here. I plan on doing my whole retirement time here.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like you said, for somebody, if somebody's an athlete in high school, and they like the team aspect and the physical aspect, this could be a great fit for somebody because obviously you have the physical aspect and there's a great team environment as well. With you having your athletic background, I'm sure that makes you a great fit.
Yeah. Yeah. At being athletic, most of the job is like your ability to do so, And like I said, if you're not athletic, that still don't mean you can't do it. If you're not athletic and you want to do it, all you got to do is get up off the couch or wherever you at and go out and train, and anybody can do it. But being athletic, yeah, it give you a little edge on it, but it's not like everybody think. If you watch Chicago Fire and all that stuff, it's not fighting fire, and then the fire service is completely different from that. You don't just in order for you to know how it really is, you have to do it. Don't take TV as a way of how it go.
Yeah, and just from talking to you and other firefighters, I love the show 911, and they're like, yeah, the way they do those calls is pretty realistic, but the amount of those calls they actually get is not realistic.
Yeah, that's not. You don't do it like that. It's not like that.
Yeah. Now talk a little bit about the length of the shifts, because I know it's pretty uniform throughout the country on how long the shifts are and then the days off.
Okay. Well, here in Clinton, we do 24 hours on. We work from 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. Like I came in yesterday. Well, I ain't come in yesterday. I've been here since last week. But you come in at 5 p.m. and you get off the next day at 5 p.m. And then you off for 24 hours. And then some places you may do 48 hours on and 72 hours off. So it just depends on where you at. But the basic shift range is 24 hours on and 48 hours off.
But your schedule weeks in advance, so you can plan stuff with your family and things like that. So it is, if you're a family person, you can still have a family and plan stuff way ahead of time with your family, right?
Right. Because it's like they have things where it's called it's like a firefighter calendar. Because most fire departments have 3 shifts, A, B, and C. And on that calendar, it tell you each day that shift work. So like I can plan out the 2 years from now the days that I'll be at work, because it's like I get off today at 5 p.m. And then I don't come back into work until Wednesday at 5 p.m.
Wow.
So, and it's just like every 3 days or 2 days or something like that. And you can just plan through that.
That's all. Yeah. I know you have a child, so, I know that really helps a lot when.
2.
I forgot you got another one now. So yeah, but still, if anybody wants to have a family, this isn't, even if you are gone for 24 hours, you can be able to plan with your wife and your kids or whoever. Those type of events. So it really is family friendly for people that want to have a family. Now, are you able to show us around the station and all some of the stuff you guys have?
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Well, because I'm at the central station now, and this station is bigger. It's like 18, not 18. It's like about it's a good amount of people here at this station, but But I'll show you around. Let me see how I turn this camera around. All right, there we go. All right, so this right here, this is the day room. You know, you got the chairs and couches, TV, vending machine. You come in here and you can sit down, watch TV or whatever, be on your phone or whatever like that. Then you got the kitchen area, 3 refrigerators for each shift. So, and then you got your kitchen, stove, because it's basically our house for 24 hours. So everything you have in your house, you'll have in here. Then you got the different rooms, like this room right here. This is the person who run the shift room. So he sleeps in there. This right here, this room is the firefighter's room and lieutenant's room. So it's a bunch of beds in here and you pick your bed and you go in there. Then over here on this side, it's a room right here. That's the captain's room. And this is the paramedics room right here. In this door, you got your shower.
Glad nobody walked out.
Yeah. Well, I knew I made sure when nobody in there. That right there is the rescue medic. I mean the rescue lieutenant spot. And then you got your bathroom. It's like a basic high school bathroom with the toilets and stuff like that in there. And then like that's the part where we basically live at for 24 hours. Then you go out here on this side of the wall. When we get a call, the city's small, so we don't really use GPS. We got them, but we don't really use them. You gotta hear the address over the radio. Once you get it, you come out here and you gotta find it on this map right here.
Okay.
It's a big old map. Then you walk out here, there go all your trucks. Pickup trucks out here. And the pickup truck over there, that's the DC that run the station. That's a fire engine right there. That's the rescue truck, and that's our special ops truck that run the wrecks and gas leaks and stuff like that. And that's pretty much the whole station at this station. This station is one of the biggest stations on the department because it had a ladder truck here, a fire engine, a rescue, and 2 other pickup trucks. So, and then, this area right here is where, you know, the locker room, everybody got their own locker or whatever. But today like throughout the year, we test our own equipment, we test our pumps, we test our hose, and other different stuff around here. We wax our own trucks, we clean them and stuff like that. So today I'm over here at this station because we gotta do hose testing. So
yeah, because even if you said you only only fight about 5 or 10 fires a year. The one time you show up and those hoses don't work, somebody could die. So
right.
You can't have equipment that isn't working right. Now, we did what, and it's a really cool video. I actually sent it to you. It shows JJ White doing the training in Wisconsin with the gear on. Now, every time you have a call, are you guys putting the gear on, or if it's just a medical call, you're not going full gear? How does that work?
If it's anything like a car wreck or a fire or something like that, we put on our equipment, like our air pack, our turnout gear and all that. But if it's a medical call, we go basically like I am now in a jacket, a t-shirt, and some pants and boots, and we go to it. And depending on the type of call, that depends on what we wear. But we don't really wear turnout gear to every call. So
it's just you only wear that if there's a risk of fire. Obviously there's car wreck, there's always a risk of fire. So that's when you would have the full gear on.
Right. And then another reason we wear it to a car wreck is because if we have to bring out the cutting tools like the jaws of life or the cutters or something like that to cut somebody out of a car, then we'll wear it so we won't get scratched or nothing like that.
I got you. Now, before I get to a couple of the students' questions, if somebody's interested in getting into this, we talked about the athletic background and stuff. So what type of people are these fire departments looking for, and what are the basic requirements?
Well, I think they changed the age limit. So 18 years old, I think in Clinton, I know for a fact, you can get on at a fire department at 18 years old. Wow. I think you got to have a GED or a diploma. You can't have no, you got to have mostly a clean record, with that. And then you got to have a driver license, I think, to get on here. And you get those things, you fill out the application and put it in, and they'll send you an email of when the process is. But to prepare for the process, you want to be able in Clinton. Like I can only speak for Clinton, but you want to be able to run 1.5 miles in under 13 minutes. You want to be able to have to do, I'm gonna say 30 push-ups and 30 sit-ups, 35 sit-ups in like 2 minutes. That's what you should push for your goal to be. And then you got to climb a ladder and drag a dummy and stuff. So, and then you got, after you do all that, then you have to do the written test. The written test, I ain't too sure about what was on that, because when I took it, it was kind of sketchy for me, but just have basic knowledge or whatever, you'll be all right. But 18 years old, GED or high school diploma, driver's license, and a clean record, and be able to pass a drug test too. So,
yeah. But I do have some questions from the students. And again, these are all ninth graders. So these are some interesting questions from 14, 15-year-olds. But this is from LePage, and she asked, when you first started as a firefighter, were you afraid of fire?
I wouldn't say I was afraid. It was something I never really, knew if I was going to experience or not. Because I've been here going on 5 years now, and I've only fought at least 2 fires. And it wasn't really nothing where I walk in and I see fire. I had to actually find a fire.
Oh, wow.
So I wasn't scared, but if you got a fear of fire or something like that, you should try to get over that before you come here. And if you can't get over it, then it's not the job, because if you go in the fire and freeze up, you got to think you got somebody else depending on you. So you don't want to be here and you scared of fire, because eventually you're going to fight a fire. Sometime, maybe 30 years from now, 20, but one day you're going to fight one. You don't want to be afraid of it.
Yeah, and like you said, there's always other people's lives on the line, so you always have to keep that in mind as well. This is from Anaya Truss, and she asked, what's your favorite thing about being a firefighter?
For me, is helping people. I know, and a lot of people don't get that. If people say that, a fireman, they just sit around and do all this all day, they don't do nothing, they don't do this. But you got to understand, if you see a fire department at the station not doing nothing, walking around, that's a good thing.
Yep.
Because if you see us pass you with the lights and sirens going, that means that it's somebody else is having problems. It's the worst day of their life, and we're going to help them.
That's awesome.
But my favorite part about it is actually helping people, going to people's house and, helping them in their worst moment. And then later on, I see that person in the grocery store, or that person come to the station and say, thank you for saving my life. Like that's type of stuff that, makes me happy about the job.
Yeah, those rewards just can't be duplicated. You're absolutely right about that. Let's see. Okay, this is Jamarian Merriweathers, and he asked, what is the hardest thing you faced so far as a firefighter?
I don't want to scare nobody. I don't want to scare my
it's
profession.
the reality of the job.
But it's, you're gonna see a lot of deceased people in this job. And that's the most thing that kind of, in this job, you're gonna have to actually touch the deceased people. Yeah. Sometimes. Like if they just had a heart attack and they started coding, or, you gotta do CPR on them. You gotta do breathe for them and stuff like that. So that's the kind of, that puts you on edge, seeing a deceased person, and then they family there telling you to help them, and you trying to help them and stuff like that. But that's one of the things that's kind of, that'll stick with you. So you got to be able to handle it and deal with that, because you're going to see a deceased person in this profession, no matter how you put it, no matter how you turn.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a reality of the, for police and EMTs and paramedics as well. It's something they're going to have, and even working in a hospital, it's just a reality of the world we live in. This is Madison Collins, and she asked, what are the biggest pros and the biggest cons of being a firefighter?
To me, well, the pros of it is, you get to help somebody. That's, to me, helping people is the biggest pro of it. Seeing a child when you passing through Kroger parking lot and the child see a fire truck and they instantly smile, and you hit the horn to turn the lights on. Like, that's the biggest pro to me.
Awesome.
The biggest con is the stuff that you see. Like, you're going to see certain stuff. And over time, you're going to get to the point where you you're gonna be second guessing it and stuff like that. So that's the job.
All right, this is Xavier Jackson, and he's asking.
Oh, 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, we was getting a call right there, but okay, go ahead. It ain't me.
All right, this is Xavier Jackson, and he asked, "What's the main type of equipment you work with every day?"
Probably gonna be the medical equipment. Like, no, every day you're gonna touch some piece of medical equipment. If it's an oxygen bag or a basic medical kit or a monitor, you're gonna do something with medical every day. Like, no matter how you put it, you're gonna do a medical call every day. So.
Yeah, and I know we're short on time here. I know you got to go, and but just a couple more things before we go. One thing I do want you to talk about is the environment you grew up in, because obviously, and you had a great family, but at the end of the day, you were exposed to a lot of things growing up in Jackson that a lot of these kids aren't exposed to. So, what is the reality of that makes you that motivated you to be better and above all that when you easily could have fallen into that trap that you saw every day?
Well, to me, it's that I grew up, I see a lot of stuff from where I come from. Like the place where I come from right now, every day you turn on the news, somebody got killed there. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. And it was when I was growing up, it wasn't as bad, but you still had the shooting and killings. And I used to be around and I used to hear about it. And I just told myself that if the first chance I got to go out and do something and be better than this, I was going to do it. Like when I moved out of Jackson in, I think it was middle school or something like that. But I ended up right back in Jackson. So I just told myself that no matter what's going on around me or how everybody else turning out, I can't let myself turn out to the same thing as them. So I just took they bad examples and told myself that I was going to make good examples. Awesome. And that's basically what I did.
And then also, as you know, your junior year, we basically spent every school day together. So you've been in the same spot these kids have been in, and your sister as well. So how much of the stuff about life I told you actually was true?
I mean, to me, everything. If somebody older than you is telling you something, it's a good chance that whatever they telling you, they don't need to experience it, or they done saw somebody experience it. So if an older person come and tell you, hey, don't do that, you can end up in jail or this, that, and other, you should listen to them because they done seen somebody else do it, or they done did it themselves or experienced it. So it's just like if a person older than you are telling you not to do something or don't go here or don't go there, you should listen because experience ain't always got to be the best teacher. You ain't always got to go through it to learn from it. You can listen to somebody else and learn from what they're telling you, and you can take their information and build on your life. So listen to advice that people give you older than you. Some young people can give you some good advice too.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, and just one more before we go. And again, I thank you so much. And dude, I am so proud of you. You're such an inspiration. You and your sister both. I'm just so proud to have been y'all's coach and teacher. But one thing before we go, like everybody else here, and like a lot of people that are going to watch this later, you've grown up Black in Mississippi, and you faced obstacles that they're going to face at some point in their life. And even though they have no desire to ever be a firefighter, what can they do to be as successful as you've become?
Number one, don't ever take no for an answer. No matter what you want to do, don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it. That's one piece of advice. And just because you grew up there, you lived here, you did this, don't mean that you got to be what they are. And you want to your number one goal in life should be better than you was yesterday. So I always push to be a better you and shoot for goals that's higher than you ever think you will meet. So don't set small goals, set big goals. You can set small goals, but make sure you have big goals to set too. And always push yourself to achieve the best that you can, because at the end, you got to be satisfied with your life. Don't let peer pressure put you in a situation that you want to be in. It might seem fun then, but when the consequences come, it's not going to be fun.
Absolutely.
So always be able to make your own decisions and be a leader. And that'll push you far in life than you ever thought it could.
Absolutely. And that's great stuff. And if you're working next Tuesday night, I'll be refereeing at Clinton High School, their basketball game against Terry High. So if you're working, I'll be out there. You can get the best seat in the house when you're a firefighter.
Oh yeah, I know. All I do is got to pull up in the truck.
Yeah, I'll be there next Tuesday if you want to come check me out. But Nick, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're tired, and you guys could have a call at any second. But again, I'm so proud of you, and just keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, see you later, my man.
See you later.